Jesus Christ, it's fucking bright outside. Pretty much, I did not like this movie whatsoever. Unfortunately. I mean, I'm not saying that it's the worst film of the year by any means, but I thought that this was a pretty legitimately bad film. First off, I thought it was over long. Like, this movie is just way too fucking long. You could have took out like a whole 40-30 minutes from this movie, in my personal opinion. And personally, before we meet this chick and we see the magical wand, I actually thought that the film was incredibly meandering, and I just got this big sense of like, where the fuck are we going narrative wise? Positive wise, I think that the CGI is, I think it's solid actually. The cinematography is fine, nothing exceptional there, and the concept and the world within this film is pretty ingenious. You know, this is kind of like taking Training Day and Lord of the Rings and kind of like and End of Watch and sort of like just smashing those all together. Like, everything that was great about End of Watch, all those positives for that film, like, don't exist in this film. I think overall the film is just overstuffed with cheesy, terrible dialogue and just horribly executed comedic moments. None of the comedy ever worked in this movie. Like, none. Like, I didn't laugh once. The comedy was just either too cheesy or just awkward or just poorly timed. There were no emotionally resonating scenes for me. Like, scenes like this, you could tell they were trying to pull at your heartstrings, but it just really doesn't work. Because the characters aren't that well executed. Not to mention, I thought that the chemistry between Joel Edgerton and Will Smith was really poor and terrible. I never got the sense, I never bought into their friendship, like, towards the end of the film. And some people might argue, well, in fact, they weren't meant to like each other. Okay, fine, but they should have been interesting together, and they were not. Also, I thought that the action sequences were just incredibly average as well. Also, this movie curses too much. Like, it's almost as if they're trying to break a world record for saying fuck and shit and goddamn and motherfucking bitch. Bad. Holy shit. Literally, the dialogue is just like this. Pretend I'm Will Smith for a second. Hey, motherfucker! We gotta figure out what to do with this wand, okay? Before this elf magic says the shit out of us, okay? She's gonna splash magic on us and fucking kill us all. We gotta get the fuck out of here. We gotta save the motherfucking day, cause that's our motherfucking job. Yeah, like the way that, like, the comedy that they were trying to use here, like, nope, didn't think it was funny at all. At the beginning of the film, where I was about to say Will Ferrell, where Will Smith is fucking going ape shit on this ferry, and he kills this ferry on his front lawn. Nothing funny there. There was one moment where Will Smith and Joel Edgerton, they're like by the side of a car and they're being shot at, and Will Smith is like, you got any other holes in you? And Joel Edgerton's like, no, just the holes I was born with. How are your holes? Or some shit like that. And I was just like, also, like, this was like the most lackluster execution of a character that maybe I've seen all year. Like, literally, it made no sense to me why she formed this bond, this trust with Joel Edgerton and Will Smith. Like, they treat her like she's just a disposable pet that they're just forced to take care of for a few hours. So I never understood how at the end of the film she was like, I trust you guys, I care about you guys. I'm like, what the fuck? What? No, personally, I'm feeling like a 4, like a 4 out of 10 for this one. Another thing that totally fell flat is the way that they tried to speak towards, like, police brutality and racism through these orcs. Like, that didn't work because the way that they tried doing that, they were going about that narrative execution like in the most predictable way ever. I don't know. I'm done.